we go. Share, and let's see how we do here. There it is, the Atlantic Ocean. Atlantic Ocean, there's the lighthouse right there. And there's Jonah just taking it all in. One last kinda, wow, that's a long ways down. It's incredible. There's a rock out there. And this really is the end of the world. You can't see very much of the world. It all blends together. The sky and the ocean. This kind of blends together. It's incredible. There's the last of the earth over there. And here comes Mia. What do you got to say, Mia?
This is so beautiful. The end of the world, huh?
Yeah.
We walked all the way to the end of the world.
Yes, we did. All right.
Thank you.
That was your video introduction. Tell us the story. From what I heard, the story was that you had decided you're going to walk the Camino, and you were like walking around in your hometown, and you saw Mia, and you said, "Will you walk the Camino with me?" And she said yes. Is that the story?
Well, basically, yes, it was pretty much the story. I was at boarding school or high school. It's something we have in Denmark. And then I was home for a weekend, and I went to this like secondhand clothes kind of market, and Mia was there, and we're friends from school. And so I told Mia about like my plans for the next while, and then I was like, but hey, we could also do it together. Do you want to join? She was like, sure, sounds cool. And I was expecting like, nah, that's all right. But she said yes, and I was like, okay, damn, cool, let's do it. And then it was like, okay, so what do you do? We should prepare. So we like get a new backpack. What else? I don't know. Get some shoes, walk them in. So it was sort of like a minute decision that we were just gonna do this. I don't think we had any real thought as to why we wanted to do it. We just knew that we did want to do it, and so we did. And as for not that many other people we saw down there, maybe the old guys from the USA, but we walked together, and we have both since agreed that if we were to do it again, we would do it alone. Not because we don't like each other, but because everybody else who is walking the Camino, or at least 98% of people walking the Camino, are doing it alone. And so it means that at least in the beginning, it meant that it's hard to meet people, because people are thinking, oh, they're a couple, and me and I are just friends. So people are like, okay, they're just doing their thing. It's fine. We don't need to be part of this. But then we met Maddie, and she introduced us to everyone. The thing is, with Americans, they're really good at meeting people. We Danes are not so much. We are very much ourselves. I have this thing to tell it in a way that's like, if we are in the supermarket in Denmark and we see somebody that we know, we don't necessarily say hi. We might not or something, but then it's your own business, right? You're not. So yeah, we're very private people in Denmark. So then to meet someone like Todd or Maddie or Stacia, who are like exaggerating people and very exciting, uh, is so crazy. In a way, they're very different people, and they're in the beginning. You're like, okay, this is a bit much. They're talking very loud. What do we do? But people grow on you, and when they're able to bring you in and ask interesting questions, uh, without hesitating or without, is this question too much or whatever, um, you're able to see another kind of perspective on how to look on life and how to talk to people. I think a lot of the people on the Camino opened my world as to, it's all right to ask a question. That it can't be a hard question. It doesn't matter. It's okay. We know that everybody there is got load, and a lot of people have a reason why they're there. That's more than what we came with. Um, and we found it hard to get to know people in the beginning, but the thing with Danes is, I think that uh, um, we're hard to get to know in the beginning. We don't make friends, but when we do, we keep them. If you're in the fall, you stay there. Um, so it taught me a lot about meeting people in the world. Um, I wanted to dive down into one specific day we had. It was the day when we made it to Finisterre. Um, we had been walking prior to these days, like through 2 or 3 days. Up to this, we'd been walking with the Italian group and Win and Maddie. And then we had made this deal, me and I, that okay, we would walk 35, 40 kilometers. I don't know what it is in miles. The 2 first days from Santiago to Finisterre, and then the last day would only have 10 kilometers. So that was really nice. We got there early to Finisterre, down at the beach, took off for, it's like this rounded beach that goes all the way out to Finisterre, and we took off our shoes. It was the first time we saw actual ocean, and not really, we had seen it the day before, but there was this beach and you could just walk along it in bare feet, and it was like sort of a feeling of we made it. And then in the evening we met with all the other people who came along. Todd came also to Finisterre, and we walked the last 3 kilometers out to the small house at the end of the world, where Todd had that small video from. And I think I walked a bit faster because I wanted to be there before the others and just have a moment. And that's when it hits. I think that feeling of joy and just being without anywhere you need to be or anything you need to do. Followed by Win flying his kite, and we had a glass of wine to celebrate. And then it was also Marco's birthday, which we had at a nice beach with a lot of wine and sandwiches, and it was just such an amazing evening and one of the most memorable from the Camino in my head. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. I thought one of the reasons that you went to the Camino is you were tired of working at the cheese factory. Was that a motivation?
Well, when we decided to go, I wasn't actually working at the cheese factory. I think the motivation for going is we have this sort of sketch in Denmark that we had. I saw this kind of sketch where it's a thing where a dad says to his son, "You have to do something crazy." And I sort of lived by that a little bit and thought, okay, so let's do something crazy. I have the time now. I was in between studies and I thought this is a great time. So yeah, later I think maybe I told some of you guys, but after we decided to go and before going, my mom was diagnosed with cancer. I don't know how many people know it, but I just wanted to clarify on that. My mom is now cancer free and growing back hair, so everything's good. If anybody were wondering what's up with that.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So that brings us up to Mia. It's your turn, Mia. Like I said, we had the video for both of you, and you told me start talking so your picture appears.
Okay, so
there you are. And you told me at one point that you would have never hiked anything, went any place alone, but now that you did the Camino and you must have seen all these people doing it alone, that maybe you feel that you could go traveling alone someplace sometime. That gave you kind of a little bit of confidence. All right.
Yeah, definitely. I think so. I think I would want to do it again. As Jonas said, we discussed that we might want to do it alone. Maybe both of us, at least I think I would like to do it at some point. Not right now, but maybe a little later in life. I don't know. But yeah, it definitely gave me some more confidence. And also what Jonas said about just meeting new people and how to be around people that you don't know and how to be, yeah, a little more, I don't know, welcoming or, just better at the first-hand impression, I guess. Yeah, but do I just talk now?
You can say whatever you want now. Tell your story.
Okay.
Whatever you want to do.
Okay, so Jonas has already told some of it, but he asked me if I wanted to go. And I just said yes, because I didn't know what else to do. And in Denmark, after high school, we finish high school a little later than you do in the US. But it's very common to take these gap years where I spent a whole year working. And then now I'm just having a year of fun. But so I wanted to have something to fill out the year of fun. And I thought it would be a really good challenge or experience to do the Camino. And one of my dad's friends have walked it before, so that's why I knew about it when Jonas asked me. And I guess I was maybe kind of hoping to get some clarity of what I wanted to do or what I wanted to study, but it didn't really happen. I just had a lot of fun, and I think I learned that I can do more than I think I can, because I think I was a little bit skeptical when we first started. Oh, am I gonna make it? What to do if we don't make it? But we made it and we did it, and it was a really great experience, and also just meeting all of you amazing people and still having contact. And I really also remember that day at Finisterre, and I think about it often. It really brings me joy. And I think the Camino is just very special now. Now I've started boarding school just as Jonas did boarding school last year, and now I'm doing it. And you meet a lot of other young people that are your age, and everyone is like, oh, what have you been up to? And when I have tried to explain it, it's just a little bit hard for me to explain the community there is on the Camino, and I think it's a really special one, and I'm really glad that I have got to experience that. Yeah, I think that's the main part of what I've taken with me from the Camino, is that, yeah, that just, I think it was a special way to be around people, just to talk to whoever, whenever, and not care what they were gonna think of you. And I think I've gotten better at this at home too. And I think it was just really inspiring and interesting to hear all of your guys' stories on why you were there. Also because, yeah, it's inspiring to hear what you have done with your lives, because now we have to figure out what we have to do with ours. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. I think Jonas also said a lot of clever things that I agree with.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Now, I don't see that Maddie's came in. We're really hoping to have Maddie. But I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to go back and show Maddie's film here, and then we'll have questions. And then I got a special thing for the end where I have a slideshow where you guys can comment on the photos. Everybody can comment. So I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to do this one right here. And I got to go back here to where Matt, no, that's not it. I got to go back to Maddie's story here. If I can get to the right spot. I'm going back. She was the first one, so she would have been right here. All right, let's go. Let's see if it works. There's Maddie with the cat. Right there. She needs a little petting, some comforting. Both of them. It's good for both of them, I think. We're coming up to the end of the world with Maddie and Mia. Woo! Right there. We made it. We're at the end of the world, and you can't see any world out there. Look at that. It's all the sky and the sea are one color. You can't see. Look at that.
Ultriata, do you know what that means?
Not exactly. Beyond. So again, we don't have Maddie here. She was on an airplane that last time I heard. I don't know. Maybe I'll check my phone to see if I got a message for her. She was going to message me. But she's just, I thought maybe Mia, you can kind of comment on Maddie. I thought you guys kind of got to be kind of really good friends and so forth. And I just thought she was great.
Yeah, she really was great. I think I've been texting her a little bit, but also been very busy with meeting all these new people. But I think she's doing great. And I know she met up with Stacia a couple of weeks ago. So I don't know if you have anything to add on what she's doing. I know she's back at school and now she's going on vacation in Mexico, but that's most of what I know. Yeah.
All right, Stacia, you want to add some stuff? She's got to get her.
There I go. Okay. The whole walk, Maddie kept telling me I reminded her of her mother. So she is significantly younger than me, but we had some really good talks. We had talks about relationships, not just with guys, but friends, our parents, for me, it was my children. My sons are 29, 27. And when she came, she was getting ready to be done with school, and her heart wasn't like 100% into interviewing yet, because she thought she may want to travel. I think the Camino kind of gives you a good perspective how big the world is and how small your world is. And I think she had a little bit of, maybe I should go explore a little bit more of the big world before I settle into a job and everything else. And yeah, I mean, we shared a lot, and some things I don't know if like I'm privy to share them just because she's not here, but yeah.
Okay, I would like everybody to unmute now. And if anybody wants to ask the question, now's the time to do it. Dale, do you have any questions? Or whomever, if you have a question, now is the time to do it. And then I have a little slideshow at the end here. All right. So do we have any questions for anybody?
What's everybody doing now?
I'm doing just fine, Jonas. Thanks for asking. At the beginning, kind of overwhelming after you came back from the Camino. It's different world. Things are you have to relearn again after being in the Camino for a while, and then also job was overwhelming. I left for 40 days because I walked from Lourdes, France, all the way to Finisterre and then Muxia. So 40 days out from my work and then came back. I thought somebody would cover it for me. Didn't happen. So I work weekends for many months, and then now get to the point that everything is under control.
All right. Do I just have to name somebody? Like Mia's at boarding school, right? What are you planning to do after boarding school?
Well, I actually really don't know. I think I have applied for to go sailing. Maybe if I get a spot, then I'll go and sail for 4 months, and if not, I might do the military for 4 months. Yeah, just for, I don't know, just to do something else than work, and then work a little bit, and then start to study next summer.
All right, Stacia?
I'm working part-time as a librarian, the same job I had before I left. I'm now I couldn't play volleyball this summer, and I'm playing about 4 or 5 days a week. I know this, like, I have a shirt that says my life is better than your vacation. I have season tickets to the NBA team here, the pro basketball team. And I think I've already been to like 34 games this year. So we're coming up on the playoffs. So that keeps me busy at night. I drive downtown LA. And I recently entered an art contest. I've done photography, but never like art. And it was in a show and people bid on it. And it was a skateboard with bottle caps, and it sold for $800.
Yeah, I see that. You've been posting that on
been
posting that on Facebook. That was great. And of course, you seem to be a Chiefs fan, and they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of Facebook photos like that. I guess we're up to Jonas.
Yeah. Well, up until 2.5 weeks ago, I was guess what? I was working at the cheese factory. It's a solid paying job. So yeah, my plans are that this summer I'm gonna start studying, and also I'm moving out from my parents' house. to a city called Odense in Denmark, where I will study engineering in biotechnology and chemistry. So that's the plan. Yes.
right.
And right now I'm just bed laying or standing for the next 2 months.
I hope you get better. I'm really saddened by this. Is you did such a good job hiking the Camino. I hope you get 100% better. All right, we're 100% back. We're up to Emily. What are you doing?
Yeah, once I came back, I agree with Win. The shock was quite, I don't know, there was some kind of shock. You have to get used to being back in the real world. My transition definitely wasn't as rough as Win's, because I just had to start slowly working and it wasn't so tough. I moved out of my parents, so I'm living outside with my friend in the capital city, which is amazing. And I sometimes tutor English and I do some marketing again. And I actually finally decided to which city in Spain I want to go for the university. So I've been accepted to the university in Barcelona. Some of you know that I was deciding if I want to go to Barcelona or Madrid. So it's Barcelona and I've been already accepted. So in September, my another adventure of Spain starts. Yeah, I'll study for a year, master's in Spain, Barcelona. So that's about my plans.
That's absolutely wonderful. I guess we're up to me. I plan on hiking a Camino again, but it won't be this year because of this tooth right here. My tooth, I'm getting a new implant and it's like $5,000. So there goes out any Camino for this year. What other questions do we have? Anne, do you have any questions of anybody, or Dale?
Yeah.
What
If
Go ahead.
if nobody asks question, I have something I would like to share really quick.
Okay, is it the thing I said we were going to share at the end or not?
No. This is different.
Okay, go ahead, and then I got a rapid fire
Yes.
photo thing I'm doing real quick.
Really quick. Okay.
All right. Go ahead.
Are you trying to share something? Oh,
Oh.
Can you see it?
Yeah, I see it.
So, Emily, don't feel bad, okay? Have you seen this along the Camino?
Yes, I have seen this, and people were asking me if this is my next size.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Emily. That was okay. First of all, I did ask Emily at the beginning. I said, if you don't want to talk about your backpack like ever again, we didn't have to talk about it. So I did ask her about it. Is I didn't want to get her, I didn't want to be that guy. All right, so now everybody unmute our panelists, and I'm going to show you some photos, and you can just make some. These are people that we met on the Camino, and if you want to say something about them, say something about it. Let's see what I can do here with getting it going here. We are going to hear, we're going to share. Here's the kind of scene in Leon that we are at the Square of Banos and having a good time. And okay, so here we go. We're going to talk about people. We got Marta over here on the left and Marcello on the right. I don't know who these other two people are, but I don't know if anybody talked with Marta, but she's actually a judge from Poland. She didn't want anybody to know that she was a judge. I don't know, maybe she didn't want any of the younger guys knowing she was a judge, but she was really nice to me on the first 2 days. And then she says, well, I got to get going because I got a plane ticket on September 25th or something. And then after like Pamplona, I never seen her again. Did anybody else have any interaction with her? No?
I met Trisha, who's the girl in the red shirt in the back. Her name's Trisha, right, Mia? I think it's Trisha, right?
I don't know.
But she was just called Trish. And we walked
Yeah,
with
okay.
our
Trish.
second day. So we walked with her into Siberia.
Oh, wow. And this is when we were playing in the river. I was out playing in the river. That everybody, when you get to Siberia, you go out and play in the river. Okay, here's our next photo. This is Marcello and Andrea. And here's Marcello with his spray gun that he sprays people in the face with on the hot days. How many people got sprayed in the face by Marcello? Anybody? Just me? That's it?
Just you, Todd.
He sprayed
Just because
me.
he likes you.
Yeah, I guess. Does anybody else have any Marcello stories or Andrea? No. Oh my Lord. I got to get somebody that you guys can talk about. Here, this Camino. Right here, we already talked a lot. This guy over here down in the corner, what'd you say his name was, Win? I thought it was
Javier.
Yeah, he's done 81 Caminos. And he just helps
Holy
people
shit.
pulling the wheelchair. This guy's a madman. He just goes and goes and goes. He's in really great shape, you know. And yeah, he told me he's done 81 Caminos, which is amazing. And then when I said, you know, I do have this book, the I Push You story, and he was wondering if I knew the guys from it. And I said, no, but he was wondering about it. Does anybody have any Des Camino stories besides we know Win does? No?
So he retired recently, Todd. We still in touch. So Javier retired from policeman.
Oh, okay. So is he going to do the Des Camino all the time? And he did 81 Caminos already.
Yeah.
That must be some sort of record.
So he is going to keep going because this bring him a lot of joys, fulfilling somebody's dream that cannot do it on their own because of physical challenge or financial challenge.
And the other thing was, I'm friends with that Emma from New Zealand, which we'll get to in a minute. And we're friends on Facebook, and Emma's got a sister that's in a wheelchair. I don't know if anybody's seen that, but she actually, I was thinking, well, maybe she should do this with her sister. But I don't know if anybody else is friends with her on Facebook. Let's see who we got. Victoria from the Ukraine. Here's an interesting story. She hiked out the Fistera. I've been in contact with her several times. She hiked out the Fistera and she just stayed there. She lives in Fistera now. She likes it so much. So I don't know if any of you had any interactions with her or not. God, I'm striking out. But I kind of wanted her to get in with Mia and Maddie and try to be friends, but that never quite happened.
I walked with her for a couple of days.
Yeah, and what happened?
We were just talking about living in Ukraine because everything was going on at that time, and she's super tall, so she took like one step for every two of mine. But we stopped where they had all the things to take, like shirts and boots and things people left behind, and we had a good laugh, and we hung some bracelets. And very sweet person. She lives with their mom. I guess not now, but she was living with their mom in Ukraine. So she was really beautiful inside and out.
And I thought her and her sister had moved to Madrid together, and when she started the Camino, she had came up from Madrid. but now she lives in Festera. So Stacia, when did you hike with her? What part of the Camino?
Probably about 2 weeks in.
Okay.
I saw her 2 days in a row.
I seen her at several spots on and off, and we're near after Cruz de Ferro. She's hiking with me, and she says she's broke, but I think she managed to do. She kept going to like donativos and stuff like that. So and she was telling me she was broke. But all right, who do we else we got here? We got the lady with the dog right there. And I seen her in Santiago. Obviously, in that film, she was at the halfway point. Her dog was running. If you remember that in the opening film, her dog was running around at the halfway point. If so you guys must have seen her at the halfway point. Did anybody stay with her and her dog? I asked her how she was going to do it, how she did it, and she said it took a lot of planning to do it. So, but you obviously you guys must have seen her off and on. She was at the halfway point with you guys. Who else do we got here? We've got the guy that rolled his suitcase. I don't know what his name is, but he rolled his suitcase the entire way, and he had a backpack on. So I don't know what the deal is, why he had to roll a suitcase, but he rolled it the entire way. Did anybody else see this guy?
How did
Yes,
he get it over
we
the
met him.
Pyrenees?
What? Go
How
ahead,
did he
Jonas.
get it over the Pyrenees?
I don't know. I didn't see him that far back. I think the first time I seen him was, I'm not sure when the first time I seen him. Jonas, did you stay at an albergue with him?
No, we met him at a coffee stop. It was a truck somewhere. It was very flat. And he was there smoking a cigarette and having a cup of coffee. And he was confused about something. And so I could answer him because he's German, or at least he spoke German. So I could help him out because I know German. So yeah, I don't know much about him other than I helped him for a little bit. But yeah, skinny man, and it looked like he had a hard time. But I think he made it, right?
Yeah, this photo's in Santiago here. So he did make
Okay,
it.
then he made it.
Yeah.
Great.
See who else we got on the photos tour here. Valerie, when I went to Puerto La Reina, and Mia and some other people came out and told me, oh, there's no room left at the Swan albergue. I kept going over the bridge and went to this other albergue, the Santiago Apostle. And Valerie said, they're all filled up, but they have an overflow room. So I got into the overflow room as everything was all filled up. So she helped me get into the overflow room. Did anybody else talk with Valerie?
Yeah, I'm still in touch with her. Very sweet person, very emotional, easy to cry.
And the interesting fact about her is she was a nanny like several years ago. She's from Italy, but she was a nanny in Green Bay for a couple in Green Bay. She was watching after children. I don't know how old she is now, maybe 25, but maybe, 8 years ago, she was like a nanny in Green Bay. So that was, and like I said, she helped me out in Puerto La Reina when I was having trouble getting a bed. What else we got? This guy here has got the Pabst Blue
Oh,
Ribbon
yes.
hat.
Happy.
I asked him what his name was, and he was from Milwaukee, and he said his name was Happy. So he must have told you his name was Happy too, right, Jonas?
I don't remember his real name, but he's gone as Happy for as long as since he was in college or something. He was introduced as Happy by the headmaster something, because he moved there, and it was probably a small high school or a college or something, and then he was introduced as Happy and has just been happy ever since. He's got also some tragic backstory, but he was traveling with a group of elderly guys, and these guys they were in their mid 70s, 75, I think, most of them. Very amazing group, and for some reason we met them, I think, the second or third day, and then we kept on meeting them, and we thought surely they're gonna drop behind, but no. And we did end up meeting them in Santiago also, so they kept up, and that was really inspiring that they had so much power.
Yeah, I seen them in Santiago too, but this is, I don't know where this is right off the bat. It's someplace like Vienna or Navarrete. I get those two towns mixed up. But he had the black Papsu ribbon hat, and I had the Wisconsin license plate with Green Bay, the Badgers, UW Milwaukee, and MATC there. So we posed for a photo. Let's see else who we got on the slideshow. Audrey from Monroe. So she's actually in our chapter of the Pilgrims on the Camino. And I met her at Bodelia at that one albergue that we all stayed at. She was there. And this is at, she's waiting outside the Singing Nuns in Carrion. She's waiting to get into the Singing Nuns albergue. Did anybody else have anything to do with Audrey? No? Well, like
we were at the albergue, but didn't have anything to do with her.
Okay, all right. So here, this is a good one. Jonas, you got a backstory on this. We got Lee the Ghost.
Mr. Lee.
Lee
This guy.
seemed
Okay.
to appear and disappear at will.
Lee, he has this very small yellow backpack. He had a big backpack, and then he had a little backpack that just sits on the back of the ass. And Lee, he would walk early, and so if you knew if you saw him on the road, then you were fast that day. But then you could be maybe like 20-30 meters behind him, and then he would turn the corner, and then you would turn the corner, and it's a very long road, maybe very long, and he's just gone, and you're thinking, what? This doesn't make sense. But Mr. Lee, he could do things that none of us other sorrow people could do. He was a legend.
Yeah, like I was at a couple of spots where, like, I seen him and I was gonna go over and talk with him, and he was gone by the time I got over to where he was. And I don't know about him appearing and disappearing on the trail. Maybe he was like me. Maybe he has urination things going on where he has to go off the trail and hide behind a bush for a little bit frequently. But he just seemed like he would appear and disappear at will. You know, that was amazing guy. And who else do we got on here? Oh, Stacia and the twins here.
Sorry, I have just a little bit to add to Lee.
Oh, okay.
I've actually met him, or we finished the same day. We arrived to Santiago, of course, because it's Lee. He was there earlier than me, and the group of people with which I arrived by was really nice to see him there. And I know that he faced some troubles at the end of the way because he actually had to communicate with the police. He was sending his backpack, forward so he could actually speed walk, which was what he was doing all the time. And unfortunately, his backpack wasn't delivered to the albergue where it was supposed to. And then when it arrived, he apparently kept there some money, and the money was gone. So he had quite a few troubles on the way, but he communicated with the police and everything, but he somehow managed to get through. And then we met in Santiago, and it was really, really nice. And yeah, he was a great guy. So I just wanted to add that to the story.
Anybody else going on there? No. All right. Let's see who, oh, I'm going the wrong way. Stacia and these two twins, I didn't know they were twins until Stacia came in. I think this is Adapurka, and she said the twins are here. And I'm like, oh, I didn't realize they were twins. I thought they were all the same person. But there's the twins. Did Stacia leave? I think she left. Sorry about that, Stacia. Say who else we got. And here's the Barcelona school kids. After Syria, we had 150 Barcelona school kids that we encountered. And they were all really nice, but that's just one of the things that happens after Syria, that all of a sudden, I think they start on a Wednesday and they finish in Santiago on a Sunday. But we just had a ton of school kids. And there's Tim. Tim is from Chicago. And one time I was going someplace and he had chicken wings and he gave me some chicken wings. So to me, I didn't know what his name was. All I know is he's the chicken wing guy. Does anybody else have any stories about him?
Tim, he's a really nice man, and he walks extremely fast. I was walking with him on one trail. It was after an uphill, and then was just very straight, and there was a lot of not like animals in the air, not mosquitoes, but something at least. And Mia was behind, talking to someone on the phone, and he just walks extremely fast, and he has the most calm walk that you could ever know. It's like very like big strides, and then just he had walking sticks also. They're just moving very fluently, and it's like, how can you walk like this? But he did, and he has walked the Camino a bunch of times, and had some really great stories from there. And I think we also had a last supper with him, or at least some dinner with him in Santiago, right?
Yeah, we had the last supper. That was great. Anybody else for Tim? No? All right. Here's the favorites. Franz, Germany, the engineer, and we wondered, well, what's the engineering? But, you know, people are different on the Camino, you know, than in real life. He must have wanted just to get away, you know, so, but people, well, what the heck is he engineering?
I don't know, maybe uno cerveza grande.
But he's a favorite. He was around quite a bit. Anybody have a Franz story?
Yeah, I spent one night with him in albergue. Is that Honduras, the one going down?
Yeah.
Seem like in the basement or something of desert. He's just amazing guy. The next day we walked together, and he told me, "Wayne, I don't think you need to wait for me." Why not? I enjoy talking to you, but yeah, I also enjoy my reading here, and I enjoy my meal. After meal, I just read my book for a couple hours before I continue. So what time you will be arriving in the next village? Oh, I don't care, 7, 8 o'clock. So very laid back person.
Yeah, he's pretty laid back. But, you know, people are different in real life than on the Camino. He just probably wanted to get away. So I don't know what to say on that. What else we got? We got Emma from New Zealand there. Again, she was with us quite a bit. And she's the one that has a sister on Facebook. I see her with a sister that's in a wheelchair. So I thought maybe she might be I had invited her to come on with us, but I thought maybe she might have wanted to do the Dis Camino thing with her sister, but I never heard back from her. Who's got a good Emma story? Mia? No?
Yeah, I can say something about Emma. I think I remember the first day when we met her and Brody, they walked together, and Jonas and I had taken a little detour, I think, and then we met them. And I at least was a little tired, but then we just met them and we started talking. And then the tiredness went away because we just had so much fun, like having a conversation. And I think she and Brody were both really interesting and had a lot to say, and they were really funny, both of them. I thought, yeah. And Emma, she's a teacher back in New Zealand. I think I remember her saying something about getting a new job when she went home, so she had to move to another city than where she studied. But I haven't heard from her, but I think she's doing good, but I don't really know actually.
I got a note from her that she had to work and she couldn't be on this webinar. Okay, what else we got here? Okay, so we are all out in Fistera. So we're coming up to win here. We got our last moments going on. We're all in Fistera on the last, when we're leaving in the morning, we're in a cafe, and this is kind of where, this is Mia and Maddie. Maddie and Mia were hugging, and in the background you can see Jonas and Wynn talking there. So this is, we have, the best part of this photo is this gal over here smiling. I think that makes the photo. But so we're all at this little cafe. It's like really early in the morning because we got to catch the bus at like 8:30 or 8. And we have our kind of last breakfast together. And then Wynn says to everybody, you know, I want to say something to all you people. I've got a message for you. And I guess I'm going to stop sharing here. And we'll go back to Wynn. And what did you tell everybody on that day, Wynn?
Well, after walking together for so many weeks, and I realized, like Emily said earlier, that humanity is just so amazing. We can do something bad, really, really bad, like war, but at the same time, when we meet together like this, it just goes to show you love has no boundaries. I'm from Asia and people welcome me. And not only that, I also, who said that, Emily again. Emily never used any phone. And I use my phone just to take pictures. I never book any albergue or anything like that. And I just rely on my luck. At one point, I didn't get any room, and somebody that I just knew 5 minutes ago willing to share a tiny bed, 2 ladies, a tiny bed, so that I can have my own bed. And I said, no, look, I appreciate your offer, but I just don't feel comfortable. Everybody needs to get good sleep in order to walk long distance tomorrow. So that kind of interaction, and then with friends like Mia, Jonas, and Italian friends, they sometimes book me albergue, always check on me because I usually left albergue the last person and arrive the last one, simply because I like to take picture and then talk to people, stop enjoying myself in the restaurant. So after knowing them so care about me, and I just cannot stay quiet. I have to say something, but I also explain, look, I'm saying this not because I want to interfere with life, your life or your business, but I say this because I know so much about smoking. In my work here, dealing with air quality, we set up regulation that people cannot smoke too close to hospital, too close to school, public facility. So I know how dangerous smoking to your health. So I said, I really want you to at some point rethink your smoking habit. The earlier you stop is the better, because how difficult if you keep waiting. When your brain get addicted already, it is very difficult to quit, and how damaging that one can be to your life down the road. And I feel so bad, because compared to the US, more and more women smoking in Europe, and bad enough to see young guy or man to smoke, and then even more so because women, they usually will give birth and going to pass it to the babies, all that stuff. So I dare myself to say at the last moment, look, if you can quit it as soon as possible. And then after I got to finish there, I went to Muxia. After I got to Muxia, I realized that a lot of people still behind me, which I would like to say thank you personally for booking my albergue, for encouraging me, for talking to me, whatever. So I took bus, retraced my route, going back up to Santiago. Even I ran a taxi, uh, simply try to catch up with people that left behind. And I'm glad I did that, because along the way I convinced two person, and then one is a woman. After I talked to her about that, because that person not in that cafe, right? So after I talked to her, she kind of really wet in the eyes, and then grabbed her long pants pocket, and then hand it to me, when I want you to throw away this tobacco for me. Why me? Do it yourself. No. I really, it's an honor if you can do it for me. So that's what I did. I accepted her tobacco bag, and I threw it for her. So that is the kind of story that I feel like, wow, it's worthwhile for me to go back, taking bus, rent a taxi. When I ran that taxi, the taxi driver told me, "Sir, this is as far as I can go. I don't know where your friend is. She promised to see you here, but I cannot enter the village. This is the last point that I can drop you." Okay. So as I paid, and I look at my window to the left, and that day was so foggy, and it's just so miracle. That person that I would like to meet also looking through the window, and then we look at each other. Is that you? So yeah, that's the end of my story of the Camino, and I was really glad I did that.
Yeah, then that's when we figured out that we're both anti-smoking warriors. And I had been praying for this guy right here from the North Country Trail. He's called the Grizz, and he died of lung cancer. And so there's many cases where, you know, I really appreciate you telling the young people not to smoke. All right. I appreciate that. We're at the end of our webinar. Wynn's got the last word, so we're done. All righty, Ann?
Thank you.
All right. Thank
Stay
you.
in touch.
Thank you so much, Tad,
Thank
for
you so
organizing
much.
this. And thank
And
you to
keep
each of you.
walking. Keep walking.
I will.